Welcome back to The Person Everyone Needs. I'm your host, Webb Hoggard, and this week's podcast is going a different direction, and it's going on a different direction for a good reason. Last week, we talked about how to win, and I told you, I don't really know how to do that. My ball teams have never really done that a whole lot, and so this week, because of the focus last week, my team lost this week, and so we're going to talk about how do we lose gracefully? It seems like that happens more often than not, which actually shouldn't shock us. I mean, again, I mentioned last week about how in football, 31 teams fall short. That means one team gets to hoist a trophy, and everybody else who was hoping to hoist the trophy has fallen short. There are many people on your street right now. If you're winning, I guarantee there's somebody on your street that feels like they're losing. Let me take a deeper and even sadder thought. Somebody's losing their family right now. Someone's losing a parent right now. Someone's losing a job right now. Someone's losing hope around you. If that's you today, I want you to know that you're not alone, and it's not the end. It's going to be okay. You're going to dust yourself off, and you're going to make it. But how do you react in the midst of the losing when it's so easy to be embarrassed? Because when you lose something, often that's a lot more public than any of your successes. One of the things I said last week about winning well is not talking about it. But it seems like when you lose, it's the only thing that you feel like everybody else is talking about. So for a second, I'm going to go to the picture of the football team, but then we're going to bring it back to real life. After that loss takes place, you know, they're throwing cameras in the Washington Commanders' face and into the Buffalo Bills. I mean, I was hoping that Josh Allen would finally get over the hump for himself and do something great, and Josh comes up short again. Now, I'm not into all this blaming the ref thing. I genuinely believe that the reason we think there's so many calls going that way is because Andy Reid has his team ready to go every single week, and if you're going to flip a coin and it's just going to go the direction of the guy who's better, and Andy Reid, I think, is just that better guy. But, I mean, for real, when you look at the hurt in Josh Allen's eyes, when you see Jaden Daniels, who, look, to be honest with you, he shouldn't have made it the playoffs this year, but much less the NFC Championship. When you hear Dan Quinn, the coach of the Washington Commanders, explain just how that worked, he did a great thing. He said, focus on the year that we got to have. He said, focus on the team, the group of guys that's in that room. That's what he wanted you to do. So the first thing you do when you lose is you look around you. What do you still have? What did you still accomplish? How far did you come? Acknowledge that. Acknowledge that you took a few steps further. Maybe this year you had some grand ideas to lose weight, and you're looking and those markers aren't hitting the way you want to. Don't chastise yourself because you didn't hit the goal. Look at how far you came. Look at how many steps you've taken when it comes to following Jesus. You know, look at how many things you are getting right. Don't look at how far off you are from where you want to be. Look at how close. Now, here's the thing also. Jesus is perfect, so you're never going to hit quite perfection. That doesn't mean don't try. It just means give yourself a break. Give yourself a break. This life is hard, and the truth is, we're going to have more losses in this life than wins. And the losses hurt so bad because we don't even know how to celebrate the wins that well. You think about celebration. When people talk about celebrating things, they talk about getting drunk and going out partying and stuff like that, like doing everything they can, I guess, to forget how to celebrate. It's also what people seem to do down at the dumps. It's interesting that the same thing that people want to do when they get, celebrate is the same thing they want to do when they're in the lowest place. And the truth is because we don't know how to celebrate and we don't know how to deal with loss. We don't know how to say goodbye. We don't know how to give up. We don't know how to back down. And when we get good at that, then we become pathetic. So how do you lose well? How do you lose with grace? First of all, you realize what you still have. If your eyes are still opening on this side, there's hope. Things can turn around. There's no need to give up. Look at what you got. Look at who's still with you. Look who still loves you, who's trying to still care for you. Take the good where you're at. Now, the next thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to state the facts. You're going to have to accept the facts. Okay, I've messed up. I have failed. I've lost the job. I've lost my place. I missed the New Year's resolution already. I've already broken it. All right, you look that right in the eye. Don't chastise yourself. Don't call yourself a mistake or broken or anything like that, but take the time in that moment to say, all right, I'm dusting myself off. I'm going to pick up and we're going to start walking again. And that's how you get better. So the first thing you got to do is recognize what you still have. Recognize those around you. Like I said, as the Commanders, the coach immediately was like, hey, look how amazing this team was together. Don't forget how great this year was together. There you go. All right. Think about the good things. Remind yourself that if you're losing someone, the reason that hurts so bad is because of how great that person was to you. If you're losing a job, be thankful that you had a season of your life where something was consistent and you knew that that check was coming and all that. And trust that if the Lord is closing a door one way, He's going to open another. And that's not just some hokey thoughts. I'm genuinely saying perhaps this is an opportunity for you to get everything that you were wanting to get, but in a new context. I've prayed for people to have better circumstances in their jobs, and God has opened doors for them to get new jobs, and God has changed the circumstances of the jobs they were at. So just know that just because it seems like you're in the final moments doesn't mean it's over. It's not sudden death. You're more resilient than that. So stand up. Let's go. Another thing is, if you are specifically losing to someone, be gracious with that other person. Take the time to just say, one of the things on the football field is saying to the other team, hey, y'all bested us today. You outcoached us today. You outplayed us today or whatever. So what does that look like in your real life? Take the time to say, I'm glad for you. I'm glad that you made it. I'm glad your hard work has come to pass, because by telling somebody else's hard work is celebrating somebody's hard work is not taking away from your own hard work. It doesn't mean that you've been lazy. It just means that this time you didn't win, and that you're gracious enough to say thank you, to say you've done a good job. I'm glad to see you. One of the biggest, clearest, most important things that the person that everyone needs to do is to be able to celebrate people when they're going through something. Especially when you wanted what they get, celebrate that person. Celebrate them. Say, good job. Say, I see the hard work you put in. I'm proud of you. I think you did great. I'm with you heart and soul. Take the time to celebrate these other people, because that's going to set you apart in the long run. It's not going to foster hard feelings. Now, I got to tell you, all right, so let me get back in my human side again for a second. We could have lost to just about anybody on this earth. I would have rather lost to a college, a AA college team than to lose to the Philadelphia Eagles. Those fans are just not fun to talk to. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about, okay? I did not want to lose. I certainly didn't want to be the team that they had to get over to make it into the Super Bowl. How frustrating is that? But at the end of the day, the truth is Saquon Barkley outplayed our whole defense. That man is incredible. Kellen Moore called a great game. I don't really know that it was any of Sirianni's job, because I don't like that guy. But the truth is, one way or another, those guys were well coached. They've been put together well, and they're going to be a strong team in that Super Bowl game. And so even though I'm happy that we made it further than we did, I didn't expect to get as far as we did. And even though we came up a little bit short from the Super Bowl, which I just got overly excited about, I will say we were bested by the Eagles. They did an incredible job, and I am just very glad to have the memories this year. They brought hope back to a franchise that I've watched for almost 30 years, and not seen it has been 30 years and not seen anything, not a glimmer of hope. So, all right. So how do you lose graciously? The first thing is you count the good. Take the seconds to just say, I'm so thankful for what I got. The second thing you do is then you recognize what else is around you. You don't give up on the progress that you've made, but you decide, I'm going to build on that progress that I've already done, and I'm going to keep going forward. That's the second thing you do. And then the last thing you do is you can celebrate those who are winning around you. Even while you're losing, you can celebrate others. And you can do it genuinely. Find a way to genuinely say, well done. Way to go. Thankful, that you're making it where you're going. Celebrate other people who are getting where you want to be, because when you get there, maybe there'll also be a parade for you. The best marker of how to maintain your peace and joy in your life is how you celebrate when others are winning and you're losing. It's a big deal. And I know this to be the case. The person who is always cheering for those, even when it seems like they're not winning the game, that's a person that everyone needs.